Stories of Great Christians. From its radio studios in Chicago, the Moody Bible Institute greets its friends everywhere with Chapter 4 in the transcribed story of Peter Marshall, Chaplain of the United States Senate. This story is based on Catherine Marshall's biography, A Man Called Peter, published by the McGraw-Hill Book Company.
This is Catherine Marshall. Peter had felt the call of his Lord to service. Being unable to leave for the mission field because of financial difficulties, due to the depression of the early 20s, he felt he should do what he could in his native Scotland. But it wasn't enough. He longed for a larger field. He had studied only in high school and taken a few engineering courses, so he began night studies again, in spite of long hours in a tube works. It was at this juncture in his life that a cousin, James Broadbent, appeared and urged Peter to leave Scotland for the United States.
Peter, you'll find it a lot easier in the States, I know. I've lived there several years now.
But it's a land of barbarians.
If that's true, then they desperately need the gospel. Well, don't they?
Yes, I guess they do.
And you want to preach, don't you?
Why, that I do. More than anything else.
And you say it's difficult to get an education here?
It's almost impossible, Jim. I just can't make it. Working all day, trying to study at night, wondering how I'll pay the rent next month. And I'm so tired.
Well, that's why you should come to America, Peter. There are more jobs available, and they pay more. Besides, there are many good seminaries and schools in America. They even have such things as scholarships. You might be able to get one.
I don't know, Jim. Going to America has never even entered my mind. I don't even know how I could get there, except maybe work my way across.
Well, I'll take you if you want, Peter.
Well, that's generous of you, but...
Look, you think about it. Pray about it. I'll be back this way in about 3 weeks. Give me your answer then.
How much time do you have, Jim?
The train leaves in 10 minutes. Sorry there isn't more time to talk. But, do you have an answer for me?
Aye. I'll go.
You'll go to America?
Aye. I didn't know the answer till yesterday. I didn't want to go, Jim. Not really, but...
I know. Too much Scotch blood in your veins.
But I was walking through the Sholto Douglas estate, and suddenly I had the answer. I knew I had to go. That this was what God wanted for me. Oh, it's hard to explain, Jim.
I think I understand. Peter, I'm glad you've made up your mind. It won't be easy. You may have to wait as long as a year before you get a visa. And life, even in America, isn't a bed of roses. See here, would you let an older cousin give you some advice?
Of course, Jim.
You know, I once felt called to the ministry myself. I didn't heed that call, and I've been sorry all the rest of my life. That's the big reason why I want you to be all that God wants you to be. When you get to America, Peter, don't look for a desk job. Too many of our preachers don't know what it means to work with their hands, and they can't reach the people they ought to. I'll be sending you a letter of recommendation to my own company, but I hope you'll never have to use it. Well, I've got to get to my train. I'll be sending you a check, Peter, and I'll be seeing you in America.
Actually, Peter had to wait a whole year and a half before he got his visa to the United States. When finally he could sail, his cousin Jim was in Poland on business. All alone, he boarded the Cameronia. All alone, he watched the hills of Scotland sink into the cold waters of the North Atlantic. But let Peter tell it as he did in a sermon in 1933.
Well do I remember on the 19th of March, 1927, standing on the aft deck of the Cameronia, watching with strangely moist eyes the purple hills of the Mull of Kintyre sinking beneath the water of the Atlantic, when every turn of the propeller was driving me farther from the land of my birth, from all I knew and loved. And then I walked slowly and wonderingly forward until I was leaning over the prow. I stood looking into the west, wondering what lay behind that tumbling horizon, wondering what that unknown tomorrow held for me. Sometimes going out in obedience to God's command is more dramatic than at other times. I, too, was going out in faith, not knowing whither I went. I was leaving the machine shops, and I was coming to the United States to enter the ministry, because I believed with all my heart that those were my orders from my chief. But I did not know how, or when, or where.
Excuse me. All right, let's move it over here a little bit, please.
Have your bags been checked?
Step aside
Yes,
just a
sir.
little bit, please.
Here.
Thank you.
How long must I remain on Ellis Island, sir?
As long as it takes to check your passport, I'll do that now. May I see it, please?
Here you are.
Yes, passport's in order. Let's see the visa. You're entering under the quota?
Yes, sir.
There you are. I'm sorry, but I have a few personal questions I must ask. What's your destination?
Elizabeth, New Jersey. I have an aunt living there.
We have a regulation that says you must have enough money to get you through 2 weeks. How about it?
Let me check my wallet. I think I have enough.
Man, you've got enough stuff crowded into that wallet.
Picture postcards of Scotland, 3 newspaper clippings, rugby games I participated in, and some letters of recommendation.
They must make wallets bigger in Scotland.
What do you expect of a Scotsman, I mean?
Sure. Now, what about the money?
Well, I have, let's see, $48.
Well, you should have at least 50, but I'll let you through. You say you're going to live with your aunt?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good luck, Mac.
So you're Peter. I would never have known you.
I guess you were in Scotland before I was born, Auntie.
Oh, now, I'm not that old.
Oh, I didn't mean it that way.
Oh, where's your sense of humor? You'll need plenty of it here in America, I'll be bound. Sit down.
So this is New Jersey.
Yes, these foolish Americans had no better sense than to use English names. New Jersey, New York, New Hampshire. Now, if they'd called them New Renfrew or New Sterling or New Lanark, that'd be different and better.
You haven't forgotten the old country, have you, Auntie?
Indeed, I have not. I go to the St. Andrew's Society every month, eat porridge every morning, and look forward to getting a sprig of heather each Christmas. Aye, Peter, it helps to forget the smoke and din of the city.
Oh, we had smoke and din in Glasgow and Coatbridge.
Aye, but somehow 'twas not the same. I have a room fixed for you.
Good.
I suppose you'll be looking for a job.
Aye, on the morrow. I've got to save some money for school.
So you wrote me. What are those papers in your hand?
Oh, these? I forgot I had them. I've enlisted in the National Guard.
The National Guard? Your first day in America, and you were a Scotsman?
Aye, the National Guard. Company D it is. 114th Infantry.
But why did you do such a foolish thing, Peter?
Well, I passed a sign on the street, Auntie, and it looked like a good thing. Perhaps I'll be able to get a job more quickly if my employer knows I care that much for America.
Oh, what an impulsive lad. Well, the deed is done, I guess. Perhaps it will help you. Now, let me show you your room. You'll want to freshen up. I've got a good supper on the stove for you, so be quick about it.
You know something about machinery?
Aye, some.
Can't hear you. You gotta shout over this noise.
I know machinery. I worked in a factory in Scotland.
It's hard work.
I know.
Well, we're building forged conduits under the Hudson to West New York. It's dirty work, and it's dangerous, too.
I need a job.
Can you be here about 7 in the morning?
Aye.
Better make it 6:45. You have to fill out a time card, you know. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Is that you, Peter?
Aye, Auntie. Just getting myself some breakfast.
Why, son, it's only 4 o'clock in the morning. Not even a self-respecting rooster is up yet.
Well, I've got to get to work. I got a job yesterday.
You must leave so early.
Well, it'll take me 2 hours to get there.
You should have been able to get a more decent job with decent hours.
Would you like some coffee, Auntie? It might help restore your sunny disposition.
Sorry, Marshal, but I'll have to lay you off tomorrow. Your work's been excellent, but we're through with the job. I'll have to lay off the entire crew. You might try Pietro Milano over in Elizabeth. Pete's a construction man, you know. Building a golf course, I think.
What it is about the National Guard? Greenhorn like you gets mixed up with the army already, so you don't know any better. Look, Marshal, whatever your name is, go to this camp training you got to go to. I try and keep your job open for you. You good, strong worker, Marsh, but I cannot promise you nothing. Who knows, maybe it's a good thing immigrant join National Guard.
Peter, you'd better see that Italian right away. He's been phoning for you every day for 10 days now. Said it's something about your job.
Hey, Marshal, you never told me you'll be gone for 2 weeks. I got to build a golf course, not an army. I got a business, 6 bambino to feed. And I know can feed them when my men carry the rifle and play the soldier. So why be not try telephone to you? I got an other man for the job. It's tough luck, but you gotta find a work somewhere else.
How is the foundry, Peter?
I hate to think about it, Auntie. Every time I move, I think my back will break.
Hard work, isn't it?
I don't mind hard work. I had it in Scotland. And I don't like this heat either, but I can bear that too. What bothers me, Auntie, is that I'm not doing what I came here to do. I came to study, to be a preacher. I hoped to save enough money for school. But instead, I'm working harder than I ever did in Scotland. And I'm not getting any further ahead. I've got to do something about it.
Don't get discouraged, Peter. Things will get better.
Well, I don't know. I'm thinking seriously of going back to Scotland. Maybe it was a mistake coming to the United States in the first place.
Oh, don't say that. By the way, here's a letter for you. Came this morning.
For me? From Birmingham, Alabama. Now, who do I know there?
And so we conclude Chapter 4 in the transcribed story of Peter Marshall, Chaplain of the United States Senate. This is a radio adaptation of Catherine Marshall's recent biography of her husband, A Man Called Peter, published by the McGraw-Hill Book Company. This is another in the series of stories of great Christians which come to you from the radio studios of the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago.